Hello viewers, welcome to brand new episode of Campus Eye. I'm Tripti. Let's have a look at this week's news. Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsava. Career Guidance Program was conducted at St. Aloysius College. The Student Activity Cell, in association with Department of Physics, organized special lecture on advancement of science and technology in India, with special reference to defense and career guidance opportunities in Indian research institutions. Dr. Jayaprakash K. Rao, former regional PRO, DRDO, spoke about the importance of Air Force and its services and how students could build their career in the field. He interacted with students and asked their idea about Air Force, Army and Navy. Dr. Jayaprakash Rao K. remembered Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam for his great achievement and simplicity. The three NCC units, Army, Navy, Air Wing of St. Aloysius College, in collaboration with Youth Red Cross of the college and District Venlock Hospital, Mangaluru, observed NCC Day by organizing blood donation camp at the college campus. The program was presided by Dr. Sharat Kumar Rao, Senior Consultant and HOD, Immunohematology and Blood Transfusion, Nodal Officer ICMR, Government Venlock Hospital. About 15 employees of the District Venlock Hospital Blood Bank under the supervision of Dr. Sharat Kumar assisted in morale of the camp. Dr. Alvin Dezza, Registrar of the college, ANO Shakin Raj, NCC Army Wing Fly Officer Alvin Miskat, NCC Air Wing, and Captain Hariprasad Shetty, NCC Navy Wing, Reggie John and Rima, Coordinator of Youth Red Cross of St. Aloysius College, were also present. St. Aloysius College, Mangaluru organized book release program titled Eppattu Tirugatagalu based on the life experience of popular Yakshagana artist Sri Surikumeru Govinda Bhatt under the St. Aloysius Prakashana. Sri Surikumeru Govinda Bhatt is popularly known as Dashavatari of Yakshagana. He is credited with the record of being part of Yakshagana troupe Tirugata for 70 years. After the formal book release, Tyagameva Jayate, a Yakshagana Tadamadale was performed based on epic narrative of Bharata Bahubali. Dance is not just about moving hands and legs according to the tunes of the song. It's lot more than that. To talk about aesthetic meaning of dance, we have with us a special guest who speaks about current trends of dancing.
Hello viewers. Today we have Dr. Shweta Sundaran Mangalat, who is a classical dancer specialized in Mohiniyattam and also Assistant Professor of St. Aloysius College, Mangalore. She is here to share her experiences in her journey towards PhD. Ma'am, in the modern life there is a lot of fusion that is happening in the art form, especially when it comes to the fusion of classical dances with the fusion of the Western dances. So what do you have to talk on that, ma'am?
Fusion is happening everywhere, not only in dance, in music or in other forms of arts, in paintings and all. And these days, in modern period, people are looking for more entertainment aspects, and so they are searching for something new, innovations. So they mix and perform. But when it comes to classical dances, I am not very sure whether this classical dance is mixing with Western dances, because the two systems, framework, grammar, everything is different in our Indian classical dances and Western dances. But in India, we have certain fusion experiments or Jugalbandi type of experiments fusing different forms of classical dances, which is very common. But there also there are certain points we have to focus on or to handle carefully, because classical dances or any other forms of classical arts, they have certain framework, certain language, and certain way of performing, way of practicing as well as performing. The way you practice and the way you perform is different, because the space is different, your aim is different, your goal is different. If you are practicing for yourself. for making corrections or to make your body flexible, to make you comfortable with that particular form. But when you perform, you're performing for audience. Yes, of course you will perform for your own happiness, but you have to give the performance to the audience. So these elements are different in classical dance when we compare this with two contemporary forms. So when you fuse these, there are many problems. The major problem is there are chances to deviate from the framework. Then we'll mix many things. But in a way it is okay, we can entertain your audience. But the thing is, if you are a pure dancer, if you are trained and if you have that true love towards the dance, it is better to follow the tradition, follow the framework, better not to deviate from that. But within the framework, you can try many innovations. This is how classical dance journey was, even from the very early days, which is known to us. What was the system of classical dance, what was the pattern of Mohiniyattam in the beginning of 20th century was completely different from these days. It has gone through stages of development. So development and innovations are necessary. And so it has to change according to the time, but the change should be always focused on the framework, the tradition, without losing the real essence of the dance. So fusion, I'm not completely against of the fusion, but when you fuse, you should understand the framework of both the forms. And there should be some purpose for the fusion. It should not be just for time pass or entertainment, because for classical dance we have certain limitations, but these limitations are the base of the essence or the aesthetics. So if you lose that, then you can't call that this form is Mohiniyattam, this form is Bharatanatyam. Not only the costume, which is a defining factor of a classical dance. So the contemporary performers and those who experiment such things, they should understand, they should be knowledgeable enough in this area. Then you can try innovations. It's acceptable. Innovations are always good, but there should be some like they should put an effort to know, to understand what are the do's and don'ts. Then it is always good to try.
Ma'am, could you please tell us about your journey towards your PhD?
Well, actually my PhD was in interdisciplinary. I always wanted to do the research in an area which I like and I am experienced in. This thought came to my mind when I was doing my post-graduation. Soon after my post-graduation, I started working in Doordarshan as a production assistant. So there I was very lucky to be in a program which was related to classical dance. It was a lengthy documentation program, 28 episode lengthy documentation of Mohiniyattam. So we actually recorded interviews, demonstrations and performance pieces of legendary artists. Okay, so after working with that program, and my director was he was also an artist as well as a media person. So from him I got many ideas how to do with classical dances in modern media. What are the roles of media in promoting art and culture, and what are the things, actually what is the scope and how to bring this, because traditional art forms are not very popular. It is not like a film, or it's not like a popular any other type of popular media. So there are certain limitations again when it comes to integrating traditional forms with the modern media. So with that experience, this spark was there in my mind. Then when I planned to join for PhD, frankly speaking, I started my PhD not just as a criteria or an eligibility certificate for teaching. Out of interest, I have chosen this topic and my research department. I did it in interdisciplinary department, communication and performance studies. And my topic was about the aesthetics and communication. It's about the performance coverage, Mohiniyattam coverage by television. So this is how it started, and I framed my Doordarshan director, Dr. C.K. Thomas, sir. He helped me a lot to frame the topic, and my guide was also very helpful. And I got such a department where there were many scholars who were into films, media, literature, dance, music. So I got such a very good ambience to work with my topic.
So ma'am, could you please brief about your thesis and its scope in the present scenario?
Yes, when I started with my thesis work, I was confused about how to get data. Data collection was a big problem for me, and literature was not available. For literature review, there were no many studies from this area. From dance area, there are many books and studies, and from television and modern media, there were many references. But this combined one, the integrated one, there were hardly any proper references for me. So it was an innovatory thing and an exploratory work. I started reading, I started interviewing people, and I started discussing with media personnel as well as with performers. So it was really a challenging task for me, but slowly I realized this is an area which has a future. My study was focused on television, but these days, as we all know, during pandemic, what happened? Everything turned online. Now we are living in a virtual world. So this has a relevance. Traditional art forms, performance forms, or live art form, when we take these forms to modern media, and so modern media has to do many things, media forms, they have to do many things, many contributions to this art forms. So what are the aesthetical elements, and how do we take these forms, and what are the communication frameworks and dynamics? So these areas are highly relevant. So I started my studies some 5-6 years back, but these days when I finished my defense, the demand is more for this study, and it is not a full stop. My study is, I'm not finishing it now. I want to continue that. Not only me, the younger generation, you people also can focus on different areas like this. So it has a future. So I think, even many scholars coming, researchers or future performers, as well as media personnel, can focus on this area and can have more studies.
Ma'am, during the pandemic, as you said before, a lot of people started practicing classical dances through online. And how does it affect the classical dances, and how does it affect the learners?
It's a very good question. During pandemic, there was a standstill for everything, for every activities, especially in traditional art forms. People were not able to move. And these art forms, we have a culture, or we have a convention of presenting the art forms in front of live audience, in traditional performance stages or modern auditoriums. These systems completely stopped during pandemic. So actually artists were going through a big crisis in terms of expressing their talent, in terms of improving their art, and in terms of financial things, because for those who were living only with the art forms, for them it was very difficult to meet their day-to-day expenses. So I would say within a month of this lockdown, artists turned online. They found this medium is very helpful for us to first they started with online festivals, small performances, and they started online classes. So online classes were very useful for artists, because some of my friends, my gurus, and many of my friends, they started online classes. Actually that helped them a lot to continue with their activities and to keep in touch with the community. Social media was very helpful in that way. But the thing is, people started to focus more on this online medium. Then finally what happened, when it comes to television or such public medium, there is a what you call not everyone can enter there and perform, but in social media and online media, if you have a YouTube channel, you can do anything. And I have a Facebook account, I can post any type of video, I can boost myself. So there lies the problem here, because quality, people we started to just push themselves, and it became just a platform just for publicity. Quality was not maintained there. So the dangerous thing here is people, the general public, those who are not very knowledgeable in this area, they might misinterpret the essence of the art form. They don't know like what is good and what is bad. So this is one problem. And so yeah, but anyway, conventionally we were continuing that the teaching and learning, teaching learning pattern and performing pattern as live. So that live, that ambience, that mood you get when you give performances, or when you take classes, or when you give classes, that is completely different. So online medium has its own limitations. That liveliness is not there. Then again, technical glitches, all such problems are very common. But somehow people were able to manage, able to overcome the problems during pandemic. So this is an alternative medium. Definitely this is an alternative medium, but we can't compare it to the real medium. It has its own life, that old pattern. So we can't compare. But for the sake of doing, we are following this, we can consider this as an alternative medium. Yeah.
Talking about the profession and the passion, or you as a teacher or a professional dancer, what is more interesting to you?
That's really a funny question. Yeah, as you mentioned, profession and passion. So teaching is my profession and dance is my passion, always my passion. And I approach the field of dance, performance and research in dance in a professional way. This is not my first profession, but I approach always in a professional way. That is what my idea. Whatever you do, you have to approach in a professional way, but I can't spend more time on that because I have other responsibilities here, and teaching is also my passion and I love this, and so I continue my profession as my responsibility, and I really love to be with the students and the college ambience, academic area, and actually my subject, mass communication and journalism, and the art, both are different forms of communication, so it has a connection. So I don't feel like I'm not in touch with the other area. When I do dance, I can't say that I'm not in touch with my subject. When I teach or when I read something about my subject, I can't say that I'm not in touch with dance. It has some relations always, so I enjoy both. It's not like I'm more interested in this and more interested in that, no. So whatever time, if I'm spending time for this, focus on this area. Whenever I focus on that area, complete attention will be there. So I enjoy both. I can't say this is more interesting, that is less interesting. I enjoy both.
Thank you for sharing your experience, ma'am, and it was great talking to you.
Thank you, Malavika. Thank you for your questions, and thank you for this opportunity to interact with you. Thank you, the team Campus Eye.
Thank you for watching. Over to the studio.
Thank you, Malvika. That's all for this week's Campus Eye. See you next week. Stay tuned.